There will be. I'm going to be sitting. I'm going to be sitting right there. To go. Yeah, there's going to be a full call there. To go. And then in 30 seconds, I'm going to go to the yellow and I'm just going to stay right there. And then
Ron Palmieri, I need you here. Where's Ron? Wendy Scott? Is Wendy Scott here? Wendy?
right down there. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to be sitting right down there. Oh, okay. I was going to say something about that. It's a little tight. Just suddenly realized I can delete everything except for what I'm actually going to use. I delete like for special operations. Yeah. I just don't want to have extra things open. I keep a lot of things open because I this is like exit and So I have everything in my exit interview, blah, blah, blah. I do need Safari open, I do need PowerPoint open, I do not need Google Chrome open. I do not need System Set, I do not need WhatsApp. It's not the active.
Good morning. Our opening words today are taken from the memorable and very lovable Fred Rogers. You remember him from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And he was an innovator and an author and an activist and someone really to admire. Okay, so down like this? Is that better? Oh, good, okay. All right, so Fred Rogers. As human beings, our job in life is to help people realize how rare and valuable each one of us really is. That each of us has something that no one else has or ever will have. Something inside that is unique for all time. It's our job to encourage each other, to discover that uniqueness, and to provide ways of developing its expression.
Welcome. Welcome to the beloved community known as UU Amherst. And just a second here. I am Kim Diana. I joined the UU Amherst with my wonderful now young adults in 2010. I have had the opportunity to serve this congregation in various ways over the years. Right now, I am proud to serve as a member of the Leadership, Development, and Nominating Committee, who has organized today's service. My pronouns, which I offer to create a truly inclusive and brave space for all to live into the fullness of their identities, are she, they. For those gathered here in the chapel, hey to those who are out there. For those who are gathered here in the chapel, I invite you to put your phones on airplane mode or as we here like to call it, worship mode, so that you and all can be fully present and free from distraction, as well as freeing up web space bandwidth, so our live streaming friends are able to enjoy the service without interruption. When bandwidth is interrupted, we often lose those people. I've been on the losing end of losing those people who are attending the service remotely, and it takes several minutes to reload, and they don't sometimes remain online or they miss important things. So airplane mode so we can all be present. Thank you very, very much. We gather today to talk about service in this service, to talk about our beloved community in what we're calling today's service is Gather the Spirit. Part of what we'll talk about is what I often refer to as servant leadership, an approach that prioritizes the growth, the well-being, and the empowerment of all those in our organization. This approach fosters inclusive environment of helping everyone be and live their authentic selves. This is a key part of the leadership development and nominating team here at UU Amherst. So as we worship together today, we will hear from members of our congregation who are participants in many of the activities, not all, there's lots of things, but many of the activities in our congregation. So I will note, just before I move on with the beginning of our service, that my service here over the years since 2010 has brought me many deep friendships, opportunities, every once in a while a little challenging, but mostly loving, to do the work of living our covenant, and so many moments of immense joy. So we're glad you're here to share this service today. Our song of intention this morning is found in the Gray Hymnal. It's called Gathered Here. It's 389 in the Gray Hymnal. Please rise in body and spirit, or spirit, as we sing. And Michelle will come up and do the hands thing so I don't mess you all up.
We're going to sing it through 3 times. So 1 time to get acquainted, 2nd time to get brave, and then a 3rd time to be thoroughly involved in the song. Here we go. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit, draw near. Thank you. May be seated.
It is our custom when we gather to light a chalice. The chalice is a copper vessel that symbolizes our gathered community. The flame represents the spark that each one of us brings to represent the light of truth, the warmth of community, and the fire of commitment to bring more compassion and justice to our world. Please join in our chalice lighting words as Kim and Ron light the flame. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. Each week as we light our chalice to symbolize our gathered community, we also acknowledge that the church is built on holy ground, ground that was first cultivated and occupied by the Haudenosaunee and those known as the Neutrals. We offer this libation as our giveaway, a symbol of our respect for and deep connection with the land. We want to look out at the land, that's also a good thing. We are a beloved community, a gathering of people who have chosen to journey together, to encourage one another, and to be part of something important and life-changing. Because we aspire to be such a people, we make bold promises about how we are to live together. So, whether today is your very first time at UU Amherst, welcome, or your first few times, or UU Amherst is your long-time home, you're invited to share in this sacred and bold promise. Together we promise to gather in compassion and unity, to celebrate diversity of thought and unity of spirit, and to seek wholeness for ourselves. You're like, wow, it goes too fast. Am I ahead one on accident? Okay, okay. Each week we bring our whole selves to this sacred time, our joys, our concerns, our sorrows. The table that we gather is right here at the center of our space, a symbol for our community, the heart of UU Amherst, this Unitarian Universalist congregation. We know the ongoing strife in the world continues to impact many, particularly intensely during this holiday season for some people. We hold people around the planet and nearby close to our hearts. We also lift up the family and friends of our beloved longtime member, Grace Little, who finished her life's journey this week. At this time, I invite each of you to come forward and place a stone or shell on the table labyrinth in recognition of all that you bring and all that you are. May we remember that we are called to heal and bring love to the broken places. Please remain seated as we sing our meditation and song, Spirit of Life. It's number 123 in the gray hymnal. The words will also be projected up front.
before I begin my part, I have to tell you about an absolutely wonderful thing that happened to me and a church friend, and I would not have experienced this without being here at this church. So I pick Linda up frequently on the way to Linda Gardner. You'll hear from her in a minute. I pick her up frequently on the way to church. And this morning, coming up Youngs Road, we saw, and I have validation from her, and she has validation from me, a white squirrel. You saw it too, Pam. Oh, my Lord. The only other time I've seen them was in Breverton, no, it was in North Carolina. And it happened that there was a carnival that came through, and they had some white squirrels, not albinos, but actually white squirrels with brown eyes. And the guy released them for some reason. And when he released them, they bred, and they've got these white squirrels. And we now have a white squirrel. I don't know if it's an albino, but it was pure white, grown, adult squirrel. Yay. So, and, you know, one of the things that I got to experience because of this church, I would not have been going up that road. I would not have seen this squirrel. Another reason to be a member of this absolutely wonderful community. You could see how I could fit that in there? You like that? Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so now, okay. Today, a man knocked on my door and asked for a small donation towards the local swimming pool. I gave him a glass of water. I love supporting the community. Recently, and that's my joke, there was no guy. Actually, last night there was, but he left a package, you know. Anyway, recently, on a plane coming back from Thanksgiving, I had a cup of coffee, and it said on the cup, "Learn more about your enjoyment of community coffee and how it is making a difference." It did not say mountain coffee or hand-picked or even have the airline's logo on it. It said community coffee. Why is community so important to us that this word is used in advertisement? What does the word conjure in your mind? Do you think of the wider scope of the world community, or is Buffalo your community? Or a bit smaller, and maybe it is the community you find at the Amherst Senior Center. Or smaller yet, and you find it here in our congregation. Or even smaller, maybe it's the team you belong to. Or again, even smaller, and your community is you and your friends. What other ways do we see community around us? Well, I can think of a few examples. Ants live in community for the benefit that it provides and the work needed that it does to help the community survive. Bees live in communities called hives, doing their part in their community to help it survive. Then, of course, we know that chimpanzees live in community with a hierarchy, and they do so for protection and community. Things like grooming, finding mates, and finding food. We humans seek community and all its benefits also. We find companionship, connection, and of course there's always that safety in numbers. We're all well aware that the monk high up on the hill would not have survived had she not had community that nurtured, protected, and helped him survive through infancy and beyond. In community, we can experience the joy of a conversation and connecting both in the moment with others and in gaining new perspectives. In this congregation, I have even learned how to make a better cup of coffee. That's when I helped out in the kitchen. There's a quote by Helen Keller that speaks to the strength of community. Alone, we can do so little. Together, we can do so much. I am reminded of this quote about the success of our community garden during the summer of 2022. That was a community effort. Yes, it was led by Angela Warren, but it took a community, our community, to bring it to fruition. That garden provided many fresh vegetables for our pantry and hours of companionship for our members. It was fun. Last June, as the busy part of our congregation's year finished up, we had a wonderful luncheon after church at this outside in the gardens. It was absolutely wonderful. And again, many hands making the work light. And lots of good food cooked and provided for us by the members of this community. This past fall, we had our second annual Living Green Festival, led by Janine Moyer, with our community stepping up, pitching in, and making this a successful event. We also had goats too, which is good. As Henry Ford said, coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, but working together is success. Community is about coming together. It is about gathering together, listening to others, being heard by others, growing and changing, having fun, working hard, enjoying companionship, and growing friendships. It is whatever it is to you, but this is our community. And today, we're going to hear from several leaders who participate in some of the many activities this community provides. And we will hear briefly about the different groups and the joys that participation brings to each of them.
So, should I leave the, see? See, Michelle makes this stuff look so easy. And I'm like, oh, yeah, the clicker, it needed to be there. So, yes, yes. So he's taking over. So we're going to enjoy, before we listen to all these people, we're going to think about creating a circle of hands, a circle of connection, a circle of all of us and people who are not in this room and what we do through the UU Amherst. So we're going to enjoy hearing from people, but beginning that, we're going to start by looking at a melange of pictures curated by the wonderful Les Buheit, who always does all our technology. That's so great. It's going to be shown to the Circle of Hands, and the Circle of Hands is a song by the amazing musician Hal Walker. We've heard his music many times in this congregation. He's actually performed here. He's formerly of the Kento-Haigo congregation and the Central Eastern Regional Summer Institute. He's also a TikTok sensation. If you want to learn more about Hal and his music, he's actually had to mostly retire due to health issues. You can search for him online, but I'm also going to put a link where you can learn how to support his music more on our congregation's Facebook page. So take it away, Les.
sacrifice. Is it worthy to give my life for this love, this huge love? I'm risking everything. I'm ready to change this dance, this wild dance. I'm riding on a circle of hands for this song, this plain old song. I'm willing to go on.
I'm going to be calling late folks up one at a time. And first, clothing ministry will be Diane Tucker.
Well, good morning. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to talk about the clothing ministry and some of the things that we've done. I'll start out by saying that today and all of these groups are about sharing our joy in being part of this congregation. Myself personally, I came here in the early 70s when I was a very young high school student, joined the Liberal Religious Youth, which was an organization here, and got the hook to keep coming back all these years. So I've done everything from chairing the Board of Trustees to my current role, which is a volunteer caretaker. So if you have garbage or paper towels that you need, give me a call. So you can humble yourself. And what I've learned is when we give something, that opens the possibility for us to receive. So the gifts that I have received from this church are so tremendous that I could do a whole sermon on it, and will not. But briefly, the clothing ministry was started with a couple of coats hung outside for people figuring if you can't afford food, you probably aren't buying a new coat this year or boots. And that morphed into a year-round opportunity to provide beautiful clothing in excellent condition to members of our community. We realized that it was saving the planet by doing this. We weren't putting clothing in landfills because we could no longer wear it. And so it expanded to become part of opening it up to the congregation, saying, come on up. But in the end, what I got out of all of this was what I call the 4 F's. Don't be afraid. The 4 F's for me are fun and friends and faith and something else that those of you who are in the know will understand, and that's forgiveness. Something that I had a very hard time with for a very long time. So I will say I have lifelong friends, I have new friends. I got an amazing sign out front after years and years, and more importantly, I met my husband here and married him. And that was a good deal.
Thank you, Diane. That was great. That was great. Next is Ron Palmieri about caring for one another.
Well, I've been with the church in 35 years. I can easily remember that because we were married here. So I just have to look at my ring to determine how many years that's been, and that's how long we've been members of this church. I'm with the Caring for One Another team, and hopefully that name speaks for itself. What we try to do is contribute to our church's mission to foster more compassion and to help to build a beloved community. We have 6 goals which we pursue. 1, to stay in touch with homebound and shut-in members with visits and telephone calls when we're notified of a need. 2, to send cards to members for various occasions, be it condolence or congratulations, thank you, thinking of you, and more, and more. 3, to provide and coordinate rides to church when requested and a volunteer is available. 4, to offer a meal for an individual or family when we're notified of a need. And 5, provide monthly meal recipes in the foreword that include vegan and gluten-free alternatives. And finally, we're a liaison church with the nonprofit Hearts and Hands program through an annual Sunday service and a plate collection. And that just happened during the month of November. And we collected $440 for this wonderful program. I've been a volunteer with them for 9 years, and we encourage church members to become volunteers with the Hearts and Hands program. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. And next is Wendy Scott going to speak on green justice.
Hello, everyone. Well, green justice. I just became head leader of the green justice team because Janine Moyer of Supreme Competence had done it for many years, including masterminding the Living Green Festival, which we've done twice and will be continuing, which is lots of fun, very interesting, lots of work, and encompasses the UU Amherst community as well as inviting anybody else, not only the local community, but the regional communities, because it invites people to participate in terms of coming as a vendor or a speaker or a leader of an activity. It's kind of daunting, but Janine needed a break from this, and I decided that I would step in. And basically, the Green Justice team takes care of activities and plans and, what shall I say, stewardship of our territory here. And you may or may not know that we have more than 11 acres, which extends back from Main Street. So we have a lot of ground to cover, and we are trying to currently do many things with it and plan for the future, what we are going to do to use this green space in a responsible way. And of course, one of our principles has to do with caring for the environment and everything in it, living and non-living, of which we are a part. And so this is under the purview of the committee. What do we do? Well, we garden, we keep the grounds, we clear the back portion of the grounds. We have a labyrinth, we have a nature center, an ecology center, we have a fire pit, we have a pavilion. We have a number of areas that we use throughout the year, perhaps not frequently, but regularly for various activities, which we're all very fond of. These require upkeep, and we're always planning to see what else can be done. And I'm kind of excited to be part of this and to try to coordinate it. And more than that, at this moment, I can't really say.
Yeah, the green justice stuff is really an opportunity to get together and hang out and just do some gardening, it's being outside with friends. It's awesome. And next is a wonderful group called the Women's Group, and Marge Marcio will tell us about that.
Hi. The Tuesday Women's Group has been a source of happiness for me for many years. I enjoy the company of smart women, like the participants in our group. They teach me a lot through our discussions about politics, books, current events, and the best plumber and roofer to hire. I learn about life in Florida from the two snowbirds who Zoom with us, and also one lady from Tonawanda Creek Road who joins us by telephone. They read the best books with such volume that I can't possibly keep up with them. They look after each other faithfully. They laugh at my jokes and appreciate my mostly on-time weekly meeting reminders. The first Tuesday of each month, we meet in person for lunch in the Emerson room. The other Tuesdays, we meet via Zoom. We use the circle way so that each woman has a chance to contribute. I am happy to be a part of the lives of these wonderful women.
I have to tell you that when I was much younger, in my 30s, early 40s, I was an at-home mom, no, I was 30s. And I went to the women's group, and these were the smartest women. They talked about current events. It was like, oh my gosh, they're not talking just about, food or clothing or things. They're talking about stuff that really mattered. I went home to my husband and said, it's amazing. These women are so cool. And they were, and now they still are. Some of the women that were there were older and have passed on, but it was a joy to know them and be inspired by them. And I'm going to present the next part, and it's about poetry as practice. That's the first Sunday of every month, usually. And it started as a chance for people to get together and experience some poetry, some profound literature, but in short chunks. And it's morphed into this absolutely wonderful event. And I would encourage you to just come and see it. Men and women come to it. We take either a topic or an author, and each of us take a turn doing 1 month at a time. And to get the chance to hear what someone else thinks about the poetry, brings me back to college when in the English classes that I had, it was like, yeah, I think this word means this. What do you think about this? It's so enlightening, and it's fun. We laugh, we talk, and it's another opportunity in this church for everyone here to come and experience something different than what you would normally have in your daily life, unless you're an English teacher, I guess. And now I'm going to invite Elaine Cusker to come up and talk about a couple things.
Good morning. I've been a member for about 30 years, and through those years participated in many, many different ways. I've been on the board, I've been on many committees, I taught RE, I was on a much earlier assigned committee that wasn't nearly as creative. I'm a trustee for the endowment right now, but there have been two activities that I've been involved in that have sort of sustained my connection, even though I wasn't, it wasn't a term of office. It wasn't 3 years or 5 years or whatever. And those two are the book group and ushering. And they just go on and on. There's no term of office. The book group in particular, I'll start with. In the book group, if you love books, if you like to read, if you have a book in your mind that you'd like to talk about, then the book group is the place for you. We're a rather loose membership. Anybody can come. Some people come every time, some people come as they may, and we have an array of participants. These are not all English majors. Many of us come from many different backgrounds. But if you love the written word, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, whether you read the book or not, we've been known to show up even when we haven't read the book. And we vary a great deal what we read. We pick a book 1 month, and the topic is that the title is decided among us, but it could be fiction, nonfiction, history, humor, mysteries, the whole gamut, the whole spectrum. The second alternating time, we pick a topic, and you can read any book on that topic. And what I have learned through the years, listening to other people talk about the books that they love, it's just so enlightening and so enjoyable. It nurtures the mind, it nurtures the spirit, we laugh. There's always time to go get your coffee. Don't ever forget about that. That's real important. We meet the last Sunday of the month. My other sustaining activity is an usher. Dennis, I don't know how long I've been ushering. Not as long as you, but a really long time. You don't usually see me up here. I'm usually in the back, handing out programs and guiding people and answering questions and greeting every single person who comes every week. And that is a lot of fun. I get to see people, I get to reconnect, and I meet new people, the people who come in who've never been here before. And I help them sort of understand what's happening and how they might find a seat and chat with them so they feel at ease. It's really a very pleasant way to be involved. It's only 1 Sunday a month, and if you're coming anyway, you only have to come a few minutes early, and it's really simple, but it's such a nice way to connect with people. And I think that's why I like both these activities, whether it's the book group or ushering. They sustain. You go on, you can come, with the book group as frequently as you like, but it will be there for you every month. And ushering is here for us every month. Occasionally we do a special service, memorial services or holidays or something. And that's really pleasant to do because there are people coming who've never been in the building and they don't know quite what they're doing and they're not quite sure how this works out. And you get to help them feel comfortable, sometimes for a very meaningful event. So I hope you'll join us for the book group, and I hope you'll consider being an usher.
Thank you, Elaine. And now Lorraine Marcus will come and tell us about 2 of the groups that she's involved in.
All right. I'm going to talk about the UU University Sunrise Sessions first. It meets Mondays through Friday mornings at 8:30 a.m. on Zoom. Our gathering started 2 to 3 years ago with a 40 Days of Love Lent initiative offered by the Unitarian Universalist Association. And the core group felt a need to continue the practice of touching base, getting grounded with kindred spirits before engaging with the day's expectations. And we have continued to do so, exploring various topics through discussion of current events, both local and faraway happenings, videos, songs, and just conversations that go wherever they may go. The group is an open group. You are welcome to join this morning gathering at any time. Drop in for however long you can. And even if it's just for a few minutes, just to say hello. It's a very warm, welcoming group. You can find a link for the Sunrise Sessions in the Friday update. And if you become a regular, you will receive an email on Sunday evenings with the link. So you just have to open your email and get in. But my other topic, mentioning the Friday update and email, is a good segue to my other domain, the website, uuamherst.org. Now, how many of you have been to the website this week? Whoa, all right. How about this month? Oh, that's better, that's better. Good, good, good. The uuamherst.org is not only a gateway to our congregation for newcomers before they come to visit us here on a Sunday morning, where they have looked us up, checked us out to see who we are, what we stand for, how to get into us, so to speak. The website's second role is to connect our community and provide needed information. There's the calendar to all the events going on here for the whole year you can check up on. You can get to the newsletter. You can see what the service is coming up next week. There is a plethora of information available for you. And you can check into the history of our church. All right, so the website is just one of the tools for making the U visible to the community. In other words, marketing. Others are the digital sign, our Facebook page, media coverage, online community calendars, etc. The vision is to create a core group of creative thinkers, writers, social media and website experts to brainstorm, create, and implement a comprehensive marketing strategy. If you could get excited about such adventures, see me or Ruth Bowen over there in the corner after service or anytime real soon, because we would really like to get started on this. Thank you.
Before I call up our last speaker, Meg Sabella, I wanted to tell you that I joined this church about 40 years ago, and the first thing I did was kind of get a little frightened, and I didn't know anyone, and I needed a place to bring my kids because one of my sons was uncomfortable and needed some place to be, and needed to learn what it was to be churched. So I brought my children here, and the first thing that I did was I volunteered to help make coffee. And I got to know one more person, and that made all the difference. I had someone that I knew that I talked to. It made it a joy to come the next time. And also, one of the things that I've been doing recently, as well as the committees that I'm on, is once in a while, I do greeting, and that is so much fun. To stand there with someone else and greet the people as they come in and welcome them. It's truly a service to the community, and I absolutely love doing it. And now, our last speaker will be Meg Sabella, who will talk about our wonderful Amherst Little Free Pantry.
Good morning, everyone. I'm currently the treasurer for the Amherst Little Free Pantry Limited, and I just want to say that it has been a transformative experience to work with some amazing people that really give so much of their time, their energy, and I've really learned a lot being a part of this wonderful group. You know, when I first came to the church, I was like, oh, this is a great place. And just showed up at one of the pantry meetings, and I continued to show up because it was really important to my values to be a part of this important work. And I wanted to let you know that you're always needed. Your time, your talents, experience special skills, a helping hand, or just a warm smile. Find a group that makes or brings you special meaning for you personally, and just show up. I believe we can find true joy by going outward and giving something of ourselves to the world. To keep this short, I'd like to share a poem that I read to our group a while ago by Alberto Rios. He's the State Poet Laureate in Arizona, and I hope that you enjoy its message as much as I do. It's called When Giving is All We Have. We give because someone gave to us. We give because nobody gave to us. We give because giving has changed us. We give because giving could have changed us. We have been better for it. We've been wounded by it. Giving has many faces. It is loud and quiet, big though small, diamond in wood nails. Its story is old, the plot worn, and the pages too. But we read this book anyway, over and over again. Giving is first and every time hand to hand. Mine to yours, yours to mine. You gave me blue and I gave you yellow. Together we are simple green. You gave me what you did not have, and I gave you what I had to give. Together we made something greater for the difference. Thank you.
You may have noticed that as each of our amazing volunteers and speakers on behalf of this came up, they brought a flower. Look at the abundant bouquet, the symbol of the beauty of our combined service to the congregation and to the community. Look at what together we produce. And think about the flower that you can bring to our congregation, that you can bring to add to this bouquet, because we are always better together. And now we're going to have Jackie come up and share a meditation.
Thank you, Kim. Our meditation today is by the author Kent McCusick. In the name of all that is holy, may the connections between us inspire and sustain us. May the flame of life within us and among us be a sacred reminder that we are all called to serve, to grow, and to love as we continue on this journey of transformation. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing our response, Gather the Spirit. It's number 347 in the gray hymnal. Please remain standing as we close this portion of the service by extinguishing the chalice.
Here
get the stool? Extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, a fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Invitation to connect. As our service draws to an end, our service to the world is ready to begin. Let me tell you about some of the opportunities to connect and serve in the days to come. Note the announcement on the back of your order of service that there will be a special congregational meeting following today's service. Next week's service will be a special holiday treat as the UU Amherst Players present Charles Dickens' classic, A Christmas Carol. This would be an excellent service to invite friends and family. As always, see the church newsletter, the forward for information regarding upcoming services and events. And of course, we would be remiss if we didn't invite you to participate in supporting the mission and ministry of UU Amherst with your financial gifts. You'll find a green basket at the back of the chapel to receive your contributions, or you can give online by going to our website, uuamherst.org, and clicking on the giving link or text your gift to the number on the screen. Throughout the month of December, we will share the offering with Homespace, supporting at-risk youth achieved of independence 2 generations at a time. Your gifts and participation are important because we pick fruits from trees we did not plant. We drink water from wells we did not dig. This is as it should be, so as long as we dig and plant for those who come after us. Your generous giving supports the work of this congregation. And now, please rise in body or spirit as we sing our closing blessing. Remain standing afterwards for the benediction. Travel light and travel easy, till I see you once again. Travel light and travel easy, and remember I'm your friend. May the road rise up to greet you as you leave your past behind. I will think about you gently, and I'll hold you in my mind.
Sing to one another.
Travel light and travel easy, till I see you once again. Travel light and travel easy, and remember I'm your friend. We do not have much time to gladden the hearts of those who travel this way with us. So be swift to love and make haste to be kind. Go in peace. Go in peace.
Members of the choir, please report to the piano. Members of the choir, please report to the piano. No coffee for choir.